G'day folks, Trent here. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on the program called QuickLOAD. Now my version is version 3.9. I believe it's the latest version. I've seen a lot of videos on people doing QuickLOAD in regards to, someone will ask them a question, they'll just give them the load, but if you own this program and you're finding it frustrating to work out the program on how to go about it, what pressures to use, what cartridge to use, and everything else that's involved in it, I'm hopefully going to try to explain how to go about it, or how I go about it, and what the results I get. I think that's pretty simple, like that. So, as you can see, I've got QuickLOAD open up. Now, I have been using this for quite a number of years. It's saved me possibly hundreds of dollars. I was getting frustrated with purchasing rounds, projectiles, I should say, purchasing different powders, going by the reloading guides, and I was just getting frustrated because I couldn't find the results that I wanted until someone put me on the program, this program here, QuickLOAD, and he told me how to set it up and how to go about it, and I've been getting positive results ever since. So when you set it up, you can see here I'm, where am I? So when you set it up, firstly, you've got to set it up in regards to the tiles. So you go up to the top here in Windows, and mine's already set up, so I don't need to set it up anymore. All these tiles here, you can move them around, as you can see. They can be moved around. Let's get rid of that. So you just go to the Windows, arrange tiles, and you arrange them as you want. So let's just say you wanted that, you can arrange them like that. Arrange tiles, there you go. That's what I do. You can, the default size, and you can do everything with these tiles here. You can put them as you want, where you want, overlap them, as you just saw. Next thing you want to do is go to options here. As you can see, options, charge increments, that's what I want to do. Okay, thank you very much. It's giving me that warning because I haven't set anything up yet, because I'm going to do it for you guys. So with your, I set resolution to high. This one here, load table settings. Go to load table settings and click on 1%. Now what that is there, it says set load table increment step with 1%. This is this section down here. If you can see me highlighting all this. This one, that's what that is there. Excuse me. Now I actually go by, there's a few things I go by in this program. You might want to go more in depth in it, but that's what I use. I use these numbers mostly to work it out, and as I've mentioned, I've had good results. Options, and then it was also there, set burning rate to 3%. The burning rate here, as you can see, is this propellant here. I'm not sure why it says 3%. I don't really go by the burn rate. I go by other things, which I'll explain later on. But I'd mostly go by the step, as you can see, as I mentioned before. You can set all this, set up long bell friction. I don't know how to do all that. There's a lot of stuff in here that I don't know how to do. It's more to the professional side of things. I hunt, that's it. But I want to get some good headshots. Further down here, it's even got black powder conversion, recoil calculation, as you can see, converted units. Mine set the bar. Set pressure units to MPa, megapascals or bar. Mine set the bar, set units to English, because I'm in Australia, so I think I use the whatever system that is there. Set beep off. So that's how you set it up. Once you set it up like this, it'll actually stay like that. Now I believe when you first install QuickLOAD and first run it and you set it up, there's on top here somewhere where my cursor is coming across, there's a yellow bar that states warning, has a warning on it or something like that. Go to this area here, as you can see where my cursor is, and type in I agree. So I space agree, hit enter, and that'll get rid of that bar if you want it gone. Didn't really bother me that much. But yeah, that's how you get rid of that. So the first thing you want to do after you get all that set right, and by the way, this is QuickLOAD, as you can see in the top right left hand corner, it says QuickLOAD. Then you have Quick Target. Now this Quick Target, as you can see, Quick Target, quick target and quick load, they talk to each other. Now, most of this information here you will find down the bottom here. So you'll find it down the bottom here. The information that you won't find here, which is on quick target, is the gyro stability. That one right there. That's very important. We're going to get to that later on. Gyro stability. So how do you go about setting up QuickLOAD? And we're setting up QuickLOAD you just done. So how do I go about actually programming to QuickLOAD to give me results? So first thing you have to do, obviously, is pick what cartridge you want. Now, you have to start with select a cartridge. This one here. So for this experiment, for this, I guess, tutorial, we're going to use a 300 Win Mag, 300 Winchester Magnum. So I'm going to find 300 Winchester Magnum. And by the way, this goes from, I can't even say that word, so I'm going to go to the next one, 10 squirrel, all the way to 35mm cannon. I mean, it's just ludicrous on how much information and how many cartridges this has to offer and how much information this can spit out. So we're going to use a 300 Win Mag. Now, as you can see, there's all these 300 Win Mag, CIP, whatever that is, FN, SAMI, blah, blah, blah. All these are different pressures. You know, 300 Lapua Magnum, we're using 300 Win Mag, so all these are different pressures. Now, if you want to find out what pressure to use, go to Wikipedia and have a look at it. 300 Win Mag on Wikipedia. Have a look at that here. Maximum pressure for CIP is 62,366. Maximum pressure for SAMI is 64,000 PSI. Pretty simple. So we're going to choose 300 Win Mag, and we're going to choose the SAMI pressure. It's very common. You choose SAMI pressure, and there it is there, 62,200. Okay, 62,200 PSI. Now, it was explained to me in the beginning, if I'm using high pressures such as SAMI, to get the maximum PSI, this is to be absolutely 100% safe, 62,000, well, not 100%, exclude that. This is only a tutorial. I'm not telling you anything to do that's going to be unsafe. So 62,000 minus 2,500, oh, there's 25,000, 62,000 minus 2,500 equals 59,500. Let's just keep that in mind, that figure of 59,500. If it's a low pressure, for example, like a 223, and actually, while I've got you here, this is another page I found too, which is a good idea to get onto, and it tells you different pressures and stuff like that. So, for example, a 223 Remington, it's 55,000 PSI. So if I'm going to use 55,000 PSI for this example, for a 223 Remington, I'm going to minus 1,800 from that figure there, and it gives me the safe pressure to work with. That safe pressure to work with is only in regards to what powder to use. I'm going to get onto that in a minute. So we're using 308 Winchester SAMI pressures at 62,000. We'll use that 62,000, okay? And now we have to find a projectile. So you go up to this file here, and you can choose whatever projectile company you want. There's Swift, there's XLF, there's Seiko projectiles, there's Remington projectiles, obviously there's Nosler, Jaguar Lapua projectiles. There's so many projectiles here, but for this tutorial, we're going to use Sierra. Now, choose a, there it is there, Sierra. Choose the Sierra bull file and click OK. Now, when you get to Sierra, and let's just say you want to choose, I don't know, let's just say you want to choose this one here, all right? 168 grain Sierra hollow point bow tile Match King 2200 G7 lits. You choose that one. What I suggest then is to actually go to the company's website and see if they make that bullet. I made a mistake once of having all this load data, and the company didn't even make the bullet anymore. So you want to have obviously a projectile that is current and can be that is manufactured, and then you can obviously purchase again. So what projectile do we use? We used 168 grain. We're looking for 22 is the product code for that. 168, that's 165. Let's see if it's this one. No, that product code is 7768, so it's not that one. It might be the other one. Let's just have a look. There it is there, 2200. So we're going to use this projectile. So they use this, this projectile is common, and that's the projectile we're going to use for this. You want to go to Hornady, well then you can choose one from Hornady. Always just look at the product code, what product code it is, so you know you've got the right projectile that you're inputting into QuickLOAD. Pretty easy, pretty bloody easy. Most of the projectile companies will have websites that you can look into and do what you got to do and pick one that best suits you. So that's a 308, my apologies. 308 on that one, that's my apologies on that one. We're going to actually go to, we'll get the right bloody cartridge here, right? How's that sound? There you go, Sammy, 64,000. My mistake on that one. Again, that's my mistake. So 64,000 minus 2,500, 61,500 PSI. So now that we've got the case that we want, 300 Win Mag, the projectile that we want to use, now we have to find out what powder to use. We click this little button up here. See this 1, 2, 3? Click that button there. Now in this area here that you can see highlighted, we're going to put that number, 61,500. 61,500. What this gives us, so let me just go back to that. Select your, it says here, select a bar range to select powders. So you want the slowest powder, you want the fastest powder. Use them all. It doesn't matter. Use them all. Keep all these the same. 100, all this sort of stuff. Keep all that right. Apply and exit. Down here, it'll give me, or it should give me, the what QuickLOAD recommends the powder for me to use. Now, I'm in Australia. I use ADI. That's all I use. It's very readily available. I can get it anywhere. It's telling me to use ADI AR2209 for a 300 Win Mag with that projectile. So from there, I'm going to go to up here, select propellant, and I'm going to click on, when I find it, we'll actually do it right this time, ADI 2209, there it is there. Pretty simple. Once you click on that, you come over to this button here. You can see me clicking this button here. This is the temperature button. The temperature will always be in Fahrenheit. Being that I'm in Australia, the average temperature in Australia is about 32 degrees. I think that's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to run that. Make sure you put the temperature in here because you will get a different result. You most certainly will get a different result. Once you've done that, you've got your temperature set. You've got to come down to this. This is very important. It's very important. You don't have to do it in this order, but you must do select cartridge and select bullet in that order. This Grains H20 grains, this is very important. So how you do HTA grains is you get a cartridge, you get a cartridge that's been shot from your gun, so 300 Win Mag, get that one, resize it, cut it, if you want to know what size it is and everything else. Alright, your case, come over to Wikipedia, that'll give you your overall length, your case length, and blah blah blah, and so on. Cut it to that size, run it through the die, make it nice and clean, and put a live primer in it. You've got to put a live primer in it because they weigh different to spent primers. Because they're using the spent primers, obviously using the compound inside, so it might get 0.2 of a grain or something like that difference. It does make a difference. So what you're looking for here, so after you get that cartridge and you do what I suggested just then, you fill it up with water. And when you fill it up with water, what's going on here? Where's my picture? That's it. So when you fill it up with water, you're looking for that. See how it's slightly bowled over? Yep, just a little bubble there of water. That's what you're looking for. Don't make it flat. Make it just a little bubble like that, and you'll be right. Weigh that again. So you're weighing that, you're weighing the empty case, and you're minusing the empty case from the full case, and that'll give you in grains what it is. So this one's come up with 91.993. Fine, leave it. If that's what your grains is, excellent. Yours might be 93.45. It might be something else. Put that in there. Just leave it. So yeah, you put that in there in your grains H20, and then you type in your barrel length. Now your barrel length is measured from a closed bolt face to the end of the muzzle. So which is your vent hole on the side of the action to the end of the muzzle. Put that in. So we're going to run this one, say, at 24 inches. And if you want to go to millimeters, you can. Put it down here as millimeters. That'll give you very specific. When you get projectiles, see this bullet length? I don't really go by this as such. What I like to do is I measure 10 and I get the average. So let's just say the average on this one was 2218 instead of 15. Let's just say that's the average, because you might get some that are 1.224, 1.201, whatever. Find the average. Being that they're not a high-end bullet like Berger, I understand that. So just get the average. Cartridge length, if you want to make your cartridge length longer because you've got the space to do so, or your lands and grooves are, like in my rifle, I have a jump of 5.8 millimeters, but my magazine length doesn't allow me to use that extra 5.8 millimeters. So I've got to keep it as standard. You want to run it a little bit higher, if you can, run it higher. Type in the numbers. Case length, if that's your case length, let's have a look. Case length is 67 millimeters. Yeah, look at that. 67, so that's 67. So we want to run around that. Fine, go for it. So just to recap before we hit OK, find your cartridge first, what pressure you want to run at. The difference between the pressure in SAMI and PSI is PSI, pound per square inch. Just that where they measure it from and what one considers to be safe, and what the other company considers to be safe. I think the CIP is French and SAMI is American. So let's just give it a look while we're here. 64,000 PSI. You run this at CIP. Look at that, 62,366. So that's where the difference is. It's the same type of pressure. It's just different. Different perspective on where they measure the pressure from. So you've got your selected cartridge and whatever pressure you want. You've got your bullet. You've got your length of bullet. Your average length of bullet. You've got whatever cartridge length you want to run it at. Whatever you can. You've got your case length. You've got your barrel length. You come over here. Well, obviously you click that button there. If you want to run this at, let's just say the maximum, 64,000, well then you run it at 64,000. This is totally up to you. It'll still give the same number, ADI 2209, or whatever powder you want to use. You've put your temperature in by clicking that button. 90 degrees Fahrenheit, okay. Now click OK and calculate. This button up here will change this. Table. And when you're ready, there you go. So there it is there. Now this here is pretty poor. So this is just what it spits out at with the information you've put in there. You can see here the fill rate of 94.5% and the 72.27 grains. This is a low load. Where these numbers come involved, remember in the beginning I'll show you how I use this table on the side here. This is where these numbers come into play. See this plus 00, this line here. You need to get, if you want to run this at maximum, because we are at 64,000, you need to get that line down to where this line is. Near maximum. Alright? The last near maximum. You need to get that line. So how do you do that? Come over to here. Let's go 98% fill rate. Now the fill rate is calculated by what you put in here, Grains H20, and the seating depth of the bullet, alright, according to the cartridge length and according to the bullet length that you input into the program. Yeah, makes sense? Good. Clear as mud? Good. Let's have a look. There it is there. Look at that. 0.00. We want to get this fine. We want to get this right down to the nitty-gritty. So after we've done that, we can do the fill rate. Let's go over here and change this to 75. This is grains now. So now we're in grains. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. 75.5. Look at this. Oh, now I'm over. So I have to come back. 49. Give that a go. Oh, I'm still over. Okay, so come back here. Let's go for 5. Am I still over? Yep, I'm still over. 4. This is the time it takes. 4. 3. Oh, here we go. But I still want to get more. I still want to get more out of this. So 3, 5. You're probably asking, why are you going 3, 5 there, Trent? Because, you know, most scales don't go to 3, 5. I'll explain it to you when I get there. 3, 6. 3, 7. 3, 8. 3, 9. Look at this. 3, 9 is over. So I want to take it back one. 3, 8. 3, 8 is on the money. There it is right there. The reason why I go to 0.100th of a grain is for the next step. So these, see down here, this yellow box here, this gives me a little bit more information as regards to what I want. So let's just play and calculate. So after putting all this information in, it'll give me 3,157 feet per second and 3,718 foot-pounds of energy. Now, go to Quick Target. Bang, there's Quick Target. Retrieve data from QuickLOAD. Press that one. Yeah. You can run it as here. You can change 100 yards. You can run it at 20-yard increments if you want to. Because I test my rifles at a 100-yard range, it's 91 meters. So this is all. You can go through this. I don't really get into this sort of style of things. You guys might. Fantastic. Go for your life. Apply and calculate. Now, see up here it says twist length, right hand. If you want to change that, let's just say that the standard is 11. All right, default is 11. But if you have a 1 in 10 twist, what you need to do, go to menu, go to options, twist length setup. Let's just say you have 1 in 10. Now, default will always be 11. Will always be 11. So if you change to another cartridge or another round or projectile, it's going to default 11. So you've got to change it. So that's file, options, twist length. Apply and exit. Apply and calculate. Now it's changed it to 10. See this number here? 2.59. This is your gyro stability. So it was told to me, and I've read it elsewhere as well, anything over 1.4 is brilliant. This one's 2.59, so it's going to be stable. It's going to be extremely stable. 1.4 to 1.7 is the optimum, I was told. But anything, I've never had a real drama with a stabilizing bullet. A real light one I have, 55 grainers and stuff like that, and even 85 grainers, yes, but we're talking on 168 grain projectile. So there's your information. That's what you got. There it is right there. 3,157 feet a second, 3,719 foot-pounds. Now, if you want to change anything, let's just say, okay, well, I've got a 27-inch barrel. Well, then, run it 27-inch. Pretty simple. Run a 27-inch. So if you can get any more out of it, you're probably not going to be able to. No, you're not going to be able to. So there it is there. Go to QuickLOAD. Quick Target. See how it's changed the default back to 11. So now we want to go back to 10. Apply and calculate. Look at that. 3,248 feet a second. 3,935 foot-pounds of energy. That'll take down a buffalo, mate. Camel. See you later. Gone. But this is a Match King bullet. And that's it. That's how you use this program. Where you go from there, if you like what your calculations are, you like all these powers, you like everything, now you have to load the projectiles and load the cartridges and go shoot them. Now, get the first bottom 4. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've highlighted 4 there. Your first load is going to be 73.1. See this last number? If that number's between 1 and 4, so it's obviously 0, you round down. You round this number down. So that's a 2, so it stays at, that number there stays at 1. If the number's between 5 and 9, you round it up. So 73.87, okay, that'll be 73.9. 73.9. Next one will be 74.6, because that's a 3. You can't round it up. Well, you can if you want to. I don't. And then the last one is 75.4, because that's that number there is an 8. So again, if the number's between 0 and 4, you round down. You round this number down. If it's between 5 and 9, you round up. Pretty simple. Load that. Load 5 rounds of that, and then you get to the range. When you get to the range, set the target at 50 meters. You think, load develop at 50? What are you, crazy? Yeah. What you're trying to eliminate at 50 meters, by load developing at 50 meters, is everything that's try to take out the elements of it. So you try to take out wind, air pressure, air density, all that sort of stuff. At 50 meters you can do that. Now at 50 meters, go up and set your target. And I've got one, here's one I prepared earlier. So this is my 260, 209, 2209, 120 grain projectile. So that's what I'm aiming at. Now remember, you're load developing. You're not sighting in. It's got nothing to do with sighting. Zoom your scope to the maximum, because you want to zoom in, parallax it. So that's my loads there. Look at that. 45 grains of 2209, 120 grain projectile. 45, look at that. Look at that load there, 46.4. That's at 50 meters. That's at 50 meters. Now, I've loaded this gun many times, and that's the load that I use. Once I get this load right, okay, once I get this load right, then I can go home, make more of these bullets at 46.4 of 09, and I can tell you now that's about 99% fuel capacity. It's a compressed load. Then I take it out to whatever range that I want to sight my rifle in. So then you dial back your zoom, whatever zoom you want to put in it, and say 100 meters, 200 meters, whatever it may be. And then you sight in. And then you put that dot on it. Then you aim for that dot and you shoot the dot. Here's another one of my 2206. And there it is, 260 Remington, 2209, 85 grain. Look at that. That there is running at 3,620 feet a second at 52 grains. That's 109% fuel capacity. So they have to be loaded by hand, and it's a, look at that sight in. Look at that. So that's near perfect. So it's great. And that's the way you do it. Put a dot on. You're only finding, load developing, you're only finding your groups. You only want to find your groups. You're not sighting in at all. You might make a few rounds at your lowest, say 50.5, and just to sight it in, if you haven't done this before, just to get on paper, and then you're only finding your load. Yeah? Now, what's the most important thing here was said to me is your grains. Alright, your H2O in grains, that's got to be pretty much on par. Your fuel capacity needs to be near 100% if possible. It doesn't have to be, but it's recommended to do so. Look at the burn rate on that. Look at this down here. 99.8% burn rate. Pretty much 100% burn. That's exactly what you want. And your gyro stability. So just to recap that, that's your H2O, your fill rate, and your gyro stability. Three most important things here in this program. So that's how you do it. That's it. That's how you do it. I've only had one argument with QuickLOAD, and that was my 22K Hornet. It told me to use 2209 powder, and if I was to use 2209 powder, I'd have to fill it up to about 300% capacity. I used 2205 in the end, and it got me down to about 78% capacity, and it ran fine. It runs fine. There's no dramas at all. No dramas at all. Try not to exceed this 64,000 psi. If you can get this result on a lower on a lower PSI, fantastic. And by the way, you don't have to use this powder that's recommended, but it's recommended for a reason. So let's just change this powder just quickly to 13. Alright? To change powder, you've got to change your temperature. 13. So look at the PSI's dropped. Let's run that at 100%. That's 100% fuel capacity. Look where the zero is. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So let's go to 101. Now remember, this fuel capacity is based on your H2O grains, your seating depth of the bullet, and the seating depth of the bullet is determined by the length of the bullet. The length of the bullet and the cartridge overall length. Remember that. There it is there. So let's just go and have a quick look. That's what it was before, 3,248. Let's click on that. Change the twist length to 10. Remember, your twist rate has to be changed all the time. 3,270, 3,000. It's actually giving me more. It's actually giving me more. At 220, yep, 262 gyro. It's actually giving me more, but I'm 101% fuel capacity. So that's going to be a compressed load. So if that's the case, all right, tell me to use or not. Let's go 08. Let's have a look at 08. 90. All right. So let's go down to straight away 95% fuel capacity. Look at that, 95% fuel capacity, it's still way over the recommended limit. So 90%. And this is how you adjust this thing. If you want to run this like this, by all means, go right ahead. There it is there. We'll just go at 8.5. That should bring it underneath the dangerous load. There it is there. All right. So that's 2208 at 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is about 32 degrees. Quick target, receive data, twist length, 31, 31, and 36. So it's dropped it. Okay, it's dropped it. You have pretty much the same result. It's less powder. You know, if you want to do that, by all means, it's 100% burn rate. You can do it if you want to. You can go. You can mess around with this as much as you want. Don't exceed this. Don't exceed this. These figures, fill rate and grains and all this other stuff down here will be determined by what you put in here. So if you want to use that figure, 61,500, all right, 61,500, that's what you want to use. Apply and calculate. See how it's over now? It's in the red. So you need to bring this one down. So you go, there it is. So now the program's determining your load based on the pressure that you have put in. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Go to the range, shoot it, have fun. So just to recap quickly, cartridge, bullet selection, grains here, barrel length, case length, cartridge length, bullet length, important, powder, but your powder is determined by pressing this button here and typing in what powder, under what pressure you want the powder to run at. Click it, click apply and calculate, go up, go down. Remember, for example, 63.6, 4, well that's a 4, so I'm going to stay at 6. That's a 9, so I'm going to go to 3. That's an example, and then you can save it. So go over here, click on save. You got to get rid of that asterisk. See that asterisk there? Get rid of that asterisk, and whatever you want. Save it as whatever you want. You know, Jimbo Jones's high pressure 300 Win Max, whatever you want to save it as, and then do that for every single one of them, and you will be fine. Look at that, it's all there. That's another good, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, that's another good site to go on as well. SAMI pressures, these are all SAMI pressures. Yep, I don't think there's oh, here's another good one too. I found this. Now the reason, just so you know, guns are meant to be used at a safe pressure, obviously. Right, so 64,000 is the safe pressure for a 300 Win mag. they determine that by this here. Where is it? Here. The proof of the pressure. Proof pressures 125% in Europe, and under SAMI they have a range of 133% to 149% of MAP depending on the cartridge. What that means, I've read that before, I tried to find it, I couldn't find it, but what that means is this gun, my 300 Win Mag at 64,000, has been tested to withstand 3 times the amount of that pressure. So I'm not, this is only a tutorial, I'm not advocating anything to go over that pressure at all, because you'll probably blow up and die. So the gun has been tested at 64,000 times 3, approximately, at 192,000 psi. You're not going to run that, it will blow up. That's the way they test them in Australia, I know that. But keep it at that. Keep your pressures. Don't blow yourself up. I hope this has helped someone. I hope this has helped you guys. And if there's any questions you want to know, please let me know. Write us an email or something like that. Let me know, and if I don't know it, I will ask my guru, who knows this program inside out, back to front, and I'll get an answer for you. I will. So, thanks for watching. I hope that's helped someone, and happy and safe hunting. Thank you. Bye-bye.